Okay, let's dive into our really strange piece of fiction called The Appointment. We're about to explore a world that feels, well, kind of familiar, but at the same time completely absurd. It's a journey right into the heart of what it means to wait. So, our story kicks off with something you just can't argue with. The room had four walls. Now, this isn't just a description, right? It's like an anchor in reality because, believe me, everything else is about to get really weird. It sets up this very minimalist, almost oppressive vibe from the get-go. And here's our guy, Kay. But check out how he's introduced. He's almost like another object in the room, like the chair or the walls. He's not really a character with a big, detailed backstory. He's more of a stand-in, a vessel for this experience of being trapped. And this is the whole point of everything. The 3 o'clock appointment. It's the engine driving the entire story. It's this one future event that's pulling Kay forward, even when it feels like he's totally stuck in place. All right, let's jump into our first section and see just how Kay experiences this waiting room. It's a place where the basic rules of reality, especially time, they just seem to warp and bend around him. For Kay, time itself is just frozen. It's stuck at this exact moment, 2:47. That's 13 minutes until his appointment. And the thing is, he can't even remember a time when it wasn't 2:47. So this isn't just waiting anymore. It's like an eternal state of being about to do something. It's a kind of purgatory that lasts exactly 13 minutes. This slide is just a perfect example of what's going on in Kai's head. On the left, you've got the simple absence of sound. But for Kai, on the right, it's something totally different. It's the presence of silence, a positive, thick thing he can almost feel. He's so hyper-aware that the world itself becomes something to pick apart and question. And this quote, it absolutely nails the mental trap Kay is in. He's stuck in this loop where his thoughts just cancel each other out. Any bit of comfort he finds, as you can see, immediately flips into discomfort. Every single certainty crumbles the moment he grabs onto it. So this all leads to a really big question, the one you see right here. Is this room an actual physical prison, or is it just a reflection of Kay's own anxious mind? Is the world really this nonsensical, or is he just projecting all this weirdness onto a totally normal room? And the story, it just beautifully and frustratingly leaves that open. So eventually, Kay decides to act. He gets up, leaves the room, and goes to find this appointment. But as we're about to see, any attempt he makes at progress just ends up highlighting how absurd his whole situation really is. Kay's journey down the hall, it seems pretty straightforward, right? The room numbers are going up, so it feels like progress. But it leads him right back to where he started, an identical, empty room. It's such a brilliant metaphor for those times in life when you feel like you're moving forward, but you're actually just running in circles. And oh, it gets worse. Even when Kay thinks he gets a glimpse of the outside world, it's just more of the same. This quote shows there's literally no escape. The building itself is just this infinite, repeating maze. This is such a powerful image for meaningless choice. Kay has the freedom to pick a path, sure, but what good is that freedom when every single option is exactly the same? It really makes you question the idea of free will when you're stuck in a system that's already decided the outcome. Kay finally makes it to the appointment center, and this is where he comes face to face with the final boss. And it's not a person. It's an unthinking, unfeeling, perfectly logical bureaucracy. The system's logic is presented as totally flawless, totally absolute. The officer tells Kay that because he doesn't have a number, he's technically absent, even though he's standing right there in front of her. Physical reality doesn't matter one bit. What matters is whether or not you fit into the system's little boxes. This form just perfectly sums up his struggle. I mean, look at his answers. He's trying to explain this very human, very weird situation to a system that has no way to process it. The purpose of appointment is just appointment. It's perfect and circular and completely useless. And then something huge happens, a real breakthrough. After Kay finally gives into the system, after he fills out their form and defines himself in their terms, time moves forward by 1 minute. It's like the story is saying that progress is only possible once you agree to play by the system's rules, no matter how absurd they are. Okay, so now we're getting to the climax of the story, the appointment itself. After all this waiting, all this searching, Kay finally gets what he came for, and it is not at all what you'd expect. And there it is, the core truth of this whole bizarre world. Kay was expecting something, a procedure, a conversation, a result of some kind. But the official reveals that something did happen. They had the appointment. The process wasn't the path to the destination. The process was the destination. So the ultimate punchline is that Ka was looking for some grand purpose in an action that had no purpose beyond itself. He thought the appointment was for something, when really its only function was to exist, to be attended, and to be finished. It's such a jarring, almost funny anticlimax. And just when he thinks it's all over, bam, he's thrown right back into the cycle. The second one appointment ends, the next one has already started, and he's already failing because he's late. There's no relief, just the beginning of the very next loop. This brings us to our final section, where Kay finishes his journey, only to realize that there's no destination, and more importantly, there's absolutely no escape from the cycle he's trapped in. So after all that effort, walking the halls, dealing with the paperwork, having the appointment, these 3 simple steps show that he ends up exactly where he started. The system isn't a way forward. It's a perfectly designed circuit that always leads you back to the beginning. And this whole story really forces us to ask, what's the real difference between Kay's absurd world and our own cycles of work and routine and obligations? We all have our own appointments to get to. If the loop is a given, the story seems to be asking, where and how do we find any meaning inside all that repetition? Because in the end, after everything Kay has been through, everything he has supposedly accomplished, he looks down at his watch, and he discovers he is, once again, and maybe forever, just 13 minutes away.